Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency news channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Vtho. And is it a good investment, or did the community vote to reduce Vtho prices for transactions by 99% basically just kill it as an investment? Now, just before I start, I am going to say I do think VeChain is a better investment than Vtho, and the VeChain Foundation has said as much. But that doesn't deter speculators from pumping Vtho more. If you look at the price graph for Vtho, yes, it did peak at about 2.4 cents for a day or so. And then it came down, and now it's about 6.2 cents. So it lost about 75% of its value. But if you look at overall cryptos like Bitcoin, it's a little bit above half its value right now. Ethereum's a little bit above half its value. I mean, Dogecoin lost as much as Vtho. XRP, I think the top was close to $2 on this bull run. It lost about as much as well because now it's at 70 cents. DOT at $49 went down to $14. So many of these top cryptos that people speculated on as a percentage lost just as much as Vtho. So I don't think in that terms, plus Vtho is a much smaller token, I don't really think in that terms it really has hurt the speculative value of Vtho. Now, the thing is, if you're waiting for utility to kick Vtho up, you're going to be waiting for a long, long time, because we were getting a little closer before the 100x decrease vote. But after the 100x decrease vote, utility is not really a factor, at least for a couple of years, on the Vtho token. The thing is, VeChain and Vtho are kind of linked. But the thing is, Vtho is easier to pump. It has much lower volume than VeChain, although it's 17 million. It is on several markets now, Binance.us, and there's more that's actually adding it. And it does have trading value. There's only about 38.1 billion Vtho, but you have to remember that more is being generated each day, and much more is being generated than burned. So the supply is consistently adding. So the thing is, there is inflation on Vtho, and the inflation, I would say, is not extremely small. There was some guy's calculation that it should be a 3-to-1 VeChain to Vtho price, but after the whole Vtho burn change in the price, that is no longer applicable. So right now, any kind of Vtho price increase is not going to be dependent on utility or VeChain price. It's going to be dependent on speculation. And the thing is, did the change in the Vtho burn in regards to transactions has it hurt Vtho speculation? I really don't think it has. And the reason is, yes, the circulating supply is increasing, but the circulating supply was always increasing, and the rate of circulating supply increase hasn't really changed all that much. Remember, we were only about a fourth of the way to, even before the vote, we were only about a fourth of the way to where Vtho burn would actually take over VeChain Vtho generation supply. So about 75% of it was going to be added to the circulation supply on Vtho. Now you just have almost 100%, which isn't really that big of a change. In that regards, in terms of supply demand, it's not really going to be that much of a difference. I think the people that are really into the VeChain community might be less likely to invest in Vtho now, because they know that the utility price for Vtho is not anywhere close. But a lot of that pump actually came in, I believe, from people that aren't really that intrinsic to the VeChain community, a lot of new investors. And my guess is they're not really going to look into the numbers and what the actual burn is. They're just going to buy the token if it goes up. And if they see VeChain get a lot of new partnerships, they're just going to suppose that Vtho burn is going to go straight through the roof, which many times is not true. Actually, most of the times, it's not true at all. So that's what actually we have for Vtho token. Like I said, the speculative value, I don't really think has changed all that much. The supply and demand is almost the exact same as before the Vtho the burn change. So if you're seeing VeChain go up in price, Vtho might not be a bad short-term buy, because I still think it has the potential to spike like this, maybe not spike quite as hard. And remember, Vtho price is still way, way above where it was in January. In January, it was it had 3 zeros and 8. Now it's only 2 zeros and 6. It's still 8x where it was in January of this year. So it's actually kept up with the rest of the market gains as well. So I don't really think this is going to be a really bad token to invest in. I just think VeChain is better. Plus, you can actually generate Vtho with VeChain. And I think for quick pumps, this could be even better than VeChain. because the volume is smaller than VeChain, which means whales can pump it even more. And like I said, I think like people see this as a gas token. Like they keep on comparing like gas stations to like the actual gas. But like gas, there's really a supply and demand shortage at times. Vtho, there's not going to be. But like I said, most people that jump in and pump it aren't really going to consider that. They just think that if VeChain gets massive partnerships, Vtho is going to go through the roof. And so, like, if you see Vtho bump 1020x, you really want to sell it at that point because people are going to realize sooner or later that, oh, it's not happening, and then they're going to like sell it down much faster than they'll sell VeChain. Like for right here from April 16th to April 23rd, it basically almost dropped in half. So the thing is, like, it can go up really fast based on speculation, but it'll tumble down really fast when that happens. So if you see Vtho going to like, all of a sudden 6 cents, 10 cents in a bull market, you will want to sell them either by VeChain or another asset. I do actually think it's possible that in light that it actually hit like about 2.5 cents before, I do think like in a really big bull run, like people can speculate it up to as much as 10 cents. But that 10-cent price is not going to last very long. So you will want to sell at that 10-cent price and not make it a long-term hold. If you do try to make it a long-term hold, VeChain is much better. And if you try to make Vtho a long-term hold, you're going to end up losing most of your gains. So I think Vtho, when you see VeChain going up, when you see VeChain getting all these partnerships, and when you see the hype come back up, I think at that time is when you actually want to buy some Vtho and then maybe get it and then maybe try to see if you can get like a 5 to 10 to 20x and then just sell out immediately and not hold on long term. So that's actually my view on Vtho. I don't think the speculative value, like I said, has been hurt all that much, but I do think like it might have been hurt a little bit because long-term VeChain holders aren't really going to buy Vtho to speculate because they know what's going on. But most of the people that jump in like a bullish sentiment are not going to know what's going on, and they're just going to basically buy based on speculation. So that's my view on Vthor. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone.